Okay, awesome. Gotta get this figured out. Okay. Alright, so I was just streaming. I was up for like 10 or 11 minutes, and then my headset apparently turned off. Like in the middle of it. So, what's good, guys? That's really annoying. So, we went over in the when I was streaming, or we're back. Let me just do my intro. We're back. We're doing NFL Week 2 review and Week 3 predictions. This week I went 12-4 on my predictions. I think it was really good. These are the actual results here, and these are my predictions. So I predicted Saints would win, the Panthers won. I predicted Eagles would win, the 49ers won. I predicted the Seahawks would win, the Titans won, and I predicted the Chiefs would win, and the Ravens won. So, yeah, I went over last time before my mic cut out. Went over Giants versus Washington, Raiders versus Steelers, 49ers, Eagles, and Texans Browns. So I'm just going to briefly cover on those because I already, went very in depth on those games. So let me. I just got to make sure, everything's good. So yeah, Giants Washington, that was a really good game, really exciting. Both teams look good. Both defenses aren't as great as they were last year, but the offenses look good. Taylor Heinicke threw a almost detrimental interception, but thankfully the defense stopped the Giants offense to just a field goal, which allowed Taylor Heinicke to take his team for a game-winning drive to get that field goal and win. It was a really good game. I think Daniel Jones even looked good. There's still some question marks with Saquon Barkley. We don't really know what that's going to be like, but they do have the Falcons, right? They do have the Falcons this next week. So, yeah, at least he doesn't have to worry about like a dominant defense, which is really good. Now moving on. Raiders Steelers, I predicted the Raiders would win 26-23. They won 26-17. Raiders are looking really good. Defense, solid. Offense, solid. Darren Waller, Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow. Perfect combination of... And Derek Carr is looking amazing. He's really looking great. Especially against the Steelers defense. It's really great. And their defense is looking good too. I mean, you also have to consider Steelers don't really have an offensive line. And Ben just looks old. He doesn't look good. He looks bad. And so, I don't know, the Steelers have the Bengals next week, which I guess could be kind of a break. But you do got to wonder what the Steelers are going to be like going forward. And I also got to wonder, is this just a fluke with the Raiders? Because I don't want to put my faith in the Raiders, because anytime I've said they're a good team and they're going to do well, they don't. So I don't want to put any faith in the Raiders. So 49ers Eagles, I predicted the Eagles would win 33-27. The 49ers won 17-11, lower scoring game than I thought, because I thought it was two powerful offenses. I thought they'd be really good, but the 49ers pass defense was amazing. They let up one huge play. But other than that, they were really good, really solid. And the Eagles pass rush was really surprising. And yeah, both defenses played really well. It was surprising, and I don't know. That Jalen Hurts looks good. He's really good. He looks like almost early on Russell Wilson, the way he's moving around, and I really like it. I like to see this kid play. He's really good. Then we got Texans Browns. Browns fans, you gotta wonder what's going on with this defense. They let the Texans take multiple leads in the first half, and you just gotta wonder. I thought at the beginning of the season that their defense would be really great, really amazing. And bro, what am I even doing here? I thought at the beginning of the year that their defense would be really great, and they have a lot of new starters, and they're not clicking yet. I think by the end of October they'll finally figure something out. I just got to see how I sound here just to make sure, yeah, okay. But yeah, I think eventually they'll figure it out, but right now they just kind of got to worry about about what's happening with them, and thankfully they have a Bears offense, which should not, it shouldn't be too much trouble. They have Justin Fields starting for the Bears, so it could be, but he's new. He does, he's not experienced, so I think the Browns will be able to take advantage of that. But yeah, you really just gotta wonder what's going on with this Browns defense. Their offense looks great. Baker Mayfield looks great, and the Texans, I mean, their offense looked good until Tyrod Taylor got hurt. They sent in Mills, and I mean, Mills still got a touchdown. He looked all right. Okay, moving on to Broncos Jaguars game. The Broncos won. What was it? What did they win? Was it like 24-14? Let me check here. Broncos won 23-13. Okay, let me write that down. I predicted they would win 24-21. Broncos win Swansea 3-13. So this game, I mean, the Broncos defense, they're really good. They're really, really good. And their offense with Teddy Bridgewater. The Broncos look really good. Of course, they played the Giants and the Jaguars, and they have the Jets this week. So it's really, they played bad teams to start, but they do look really good. And this is a playoff roster. This really is a playoff roster. And you almost gotta wonder, are they gonna beat the Chiefs this year? Are they gonna have a good game against the Chiefs at home? Are they gonna, are they gonna beat the Raiders? Are they gonna dominate their division? Probably not. But with this defense, it could very well happen. And the Jaguars, their offense, they're still rebuilding phase. I don't know what's going on with them. I think it's going to take them a long time to finally get to, where they want to be. They have the Cardinals next week, which is not, definitely not an improvement for them. They lost to the Texans and they lost to the Broncos, so facing this Cardinals offense it's going to be a problem for them. All right. Then we got Saints versus Panthers. I predicted the Saints would win 24-23. The Panthers won 26-7. I gotta check here. Panthers score. Yes, Panthers won. But the Panthers look really good. Sam Darnold looks awesome. He finally has a team that's better than the Jets. Doesn't have to deal with Adam Gase. And his offense looks great. Christian McCaffrey is phenomenal. And the Panthers' defense is surprising. And the Saints just, we thought after week 1, we're like, Jameis Winston this is what he's been waiting for his entire career. He could finally prove everyone wrong. And then he just fell back to, what we always thought he was. And now my dogs are barking because, of course, they are. My mom just texted me and said, "How are we on milk?" Hey! Stop! I don't know how we are on milk. That's a good question, though. All right. Yeah, I think Jameis Winston is going to be very up and down all year. He's very unreliable. I think it's going to be very unpredictable with this team. Then we have Rams Colts, wait a minute. Oh yeah, Rams Colts. I predicted the Rams would win 31-14. They barely won 27-24. Which was, it was a hell of a game. The Colts were real contenders to win that game. And I like them, but Carson Wentz got hurt, and then Matt Stafford was able to bring his team down the field. And, Carson Wentz looked good. Matt Stafford looked good. He wasn't as, dominant as he was in the first game. I thought he was going to be dominant for at least the first few games. He looked all right. He looked good, but he didn't look amazing. And I mean, the Colts lost Carson Wentz, and I think that's really the reason that the Rams were able to win, because and the Rams defense is not as, they probably just had one bad game, but it didn't look that overpowering, and so that could be something the Rams have to worry about going forward. Like, they finally have a good offense, maybe they're getting too overconfident, and so they're kind of letting up, which you do have to worry about. But I think they'll play well, because next week they have the Buccaneers, and that's a game that they cannot lose. They do not want to lose, so I don't think they'll really let up for that game. I think they'll play their heart out for this game, or for the next game. But yeah, I think the Colts were looking for some revenge on the NFC West after they lost to the Seahawks, and they looked really good. They have the Titans next week, and we'll just have to see how that plays out. So then we got Bills versus Dolphins. This game, I predicted the Bills would win 38-21. The Bills won fucking 35-0. It's almost like that Bills-Dolphins game last year, at the end of the year. It was fucking bad for the Dolphins. Tua went out in the first quarter, and then Jacoby Brissett had to come in, who we know is not that great, and so that really just fucked up the Dolphins. Their offense just had nothing going there, and their defense looked all right. I mean, they had a pick, and Josh Allen, you gotta look. They won 35-0, but he doesn't look amazing. He didn't look absolutely amazing like some of his games last year. He looked all right. He threw some touchdowns. You really got to thank the Bills defense for this. And you just, especially with that O-line for Buffalo, I mean, it's just, they look really good, but it could, it's just, we'll have to see. I just fucking dropped my, oh my god. Yeah, we'll just have to see next game how they play. They have Washington, good defense. Chase Young could dominate that O-line. But, yeah, we'll just have to see, man. Alright. Now, I really hope my fucking thing doesn't turn off now. Patriots-Jets. I predicted that the Patriots would win 21-14. They won 25-6. Good, nice comeback after losing to the Dolphins. I knew he was going to be drafted second overall, and I said, what are you doing? Get Trey Lance. But they didn't. Trey Lance has always been my favorite quarterback in the draft last year. I thought he was possibly my favorite pick ever in the draft for last year. And they chose Zach Wilson. He doesn't look good. Doesn't he have 5 interceptions already in 2 games? Kid's got some potential, but after a few years at least, I think they're just gonna make another Sam Darnold. They drafted Sam Darnold, turned him into shit, and then just drafted another Sam Darnold. The Jets are really just a bad team, and I don't see them going anywhere. And the Patriots just dominated them, especially the defense. Yeah. So Bengals versus Bears. This was a good game, actually. This was a fun game. I predicted the Bears would win 27-25. They won 20-17. win 20-17. I'll go to Raw at Iron. Only 12-4 on the goddamn week. That's amazing. All right. But yeah, I don't even really have to say much about this game. We just have to say the O-line for the Bengals. That's it. It's just there's nothing, man. There's nothing for them to do. Poor Joe Burrow, this poor guy, and he has who do they have? They have the Steelers. Bang! He has the Steelers next week. This poor kid is gonna get destroyed by T.J. Watt. Oh my God, that poor kid. Why didn't they draft Penei Sewell? Why didn't they draft Penei Sewell? I just don't get it. But yeah, they did what they did, and I mean, what are you gonna do, really? Well, there's a lot they could do. They could have fixed the O-line, but they didn't. They drafted Jamar Chase, which was a fucking mistake. And Joe Burrow is really good. I like him. I didn't think he was good last year, but this year I think he's good. He's changing my mind. It's just the O-line is something you got to worry about. And against the Steelers, they're really not gonna do good. Especially they're in Pittsburgh, so that's not good for them. And the Bears next week have the Browns. I don't know. I don't think their defense is going to be able to hold up against Baker Mayfield. But in this game, they looked good. So yeah, and then we got Falcons Buccaneers. This game, Falcons could have won if they did like 800 things differently. Yeah, there were like 800 mistakes in that game, and even if one of those was different, they probably would have won. It was especially Buccaneers winning 48-25. The Buccaneers defense had 2 pick sixes, so that really sealed the deal for them. But yeah, the Falcons had a chance to win, and they just looked really bad. There's a lot of questions about Matt Ryan. What's going on? Are they going to have to move on from him? I think this is definitely Matt Ryan's last year playing in the NFL. I don't think he looks good anymore. I think he wants to play. I think he wants to be a Tom Brady, but he's just not. And yeah, the Falcons especially. I mean, those 2 pick sixes it just destroyed them. So yeah. Then we got Vikings Cardinals. I predicted the Cardinals would win 34-24. They won 34-33. Cardinals win, and it was because of another missed field goal. Wow. Good thing that's never happened to the Vikings before, though, right? Missed field goal and a missed point after it. No, just no. Both teams look good. Kyler Murray, his daycare finally let him out for a few hours to play, and he looked really good. And an 0-2 start for the Vikings. You really gotta. I mean, that's if they lose to the Seahawks next week, it's gonna be a really bad look for them. I know they don't want to start 0-3, and I think they're really gonna bring it next week against Seattle. I think I see there's a very high chance that the Vikings win that game against Seattle. It's usually played in Seattle, but this year it's going to be played in Minnesota. But yeah, their defense just could not stop Kyler Murray, and yeah, it's just poor Vikings. That fucking kicker, man. Okay, then we got Titans Seahawks. I predicted the Seahawks would win 27-21. The Titans won 33-30. in overtime. This game was first half. Both the Seahawks offense and defense looked really good. They were stopping Derrick Henry. He couldn't do anything. And then we get to the second half, and they gave up 170 yards to Derrick Henry and 3 touchdowns and 100 penalty yards. So it's really, I get you can't contain Derrick Henry for the entire game. That's almost impossible. But the Cardinals did it, and it's a lot to ask for a defense for 60 minutes to contain a man like Derrick Henry. That's a lot to ask. But, it's, and really the penalty yards and Trey Flowers. I mean, why is he still there? Why is Trey Flowers still there? Why is he still there? Why is he still there? Russ! Why is Trey Flowers still there? I don't get it. Ryan Neal is better. And it's why is Trey Flowers? Oh my God, I'm crying. Why is Trey Flowers still there? Yeah, and the Seahawks just couldn't contain the Titans. They had a 30-16 lead, and then they lost 33-30 in overtime. The offense just wasn't able to move the ball either. It was a really tough game for both teams, and the Titans came up with a win. It's the first home opener loss for Pete Carroll, and that would hurt. That would really hurt. So, then we got Cowboys Chargers. I predicted Cowboys would win 33-30. They won 20-17. And yeah, I was saying 33-31 because I thought that both offenses were just going to be overpowered and plow through the other one. But yeah, both teams played well. Their defenses looked. I mean, the Chargers' defense was good. There's still a lot of question marks about the Cowboys' defense, but the offenses look good, and especially Herbert's passing game. I just fucking love him. I love him so much. And the Cowboys won. Last play of the game, kicked that field goal, and they won. So yeah, just both teams look really good. This was a toss-up because I think this was the hardest game to pick for me personally last week because I mean both teams are really amazing offenses, and yeah, but thankfully I predicted correctly. I did say it was going to be within 1, 2, or 3 points. I said with the Washington Giants game too. I said it was going to be within 3 points. And it was 1 point. And yeah, it was a really fun game to watch with the Chargers and Cowboys. Then we go on to the Chiefs-Ravens game. I was like, this was a hard game for me to pick. I knew it was going to be hard. I said the Chiefs would win 30-29. The Ravens won 36-35, so a 1 point differential, which I thought it was going to be. 1 point differential. But yeah, you thought at the beginning when Lamar threw 2 picks, you thought it was just going to be a blowout win for the Chiefs off the bat, but Lamar came back. The Chiefs defense is a lot of question marks there. How are they going to do next week against the Chargers? Of course, they are in Arrowhead, but how are they going to do with that? Their defense is a real question mark, and they looked good. They could have won, but then CEH just fucking fumbled that shit, and yeah, it's I'm honestly glad the Chiefs lost, because it makes me feel better about the Seahawks losing. But their offense looks dominant, but their defense just could not stop Lamar Jackson. They couldn't stop anyone on the ground. And so how are they going to face against Austin Eckler? I think they're definitely going to use Austin Eckler on the ground next week, the Chargers, and I think it's going to be a really close game next week. But this was a fun one to watch. Lions Packers, I predicted the Packers would win 28-18. The Packers won 35-17. This game, I was watching at halftime. I was like, holy shit, Aaron Rodgers sucks. I'm like, this is going to be a repeat of last week, But they came out of the locker room. They were able to win. They had a 21-point shutout in the second half. I'm yawning a lot. It's because I'm talking a lot. I'm not getting a lot of oxygen intake, so that's why I'm yawning a lot. But yeah, the Lions looked. I mean, the Packers' defense didn't look great, but the Lions looked good for the first half, and then it just became overwhelming for Jared Goff. And it started raining. The ball was slipping out of his hands. He was throwing picks. It didn't look good. All right, let's move on to next week, or this week, rather. So how come this is being played on Sunday, but it doesn't say Sunday next to it, and this is Sunday? Does that mean these are primetime games? I don't really get it. I don't really understand what is happening. But it is okay. It is absolutely okay. Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the Panthers-Texans game. I think this is going to be a really fun game. I'm going to watch this tonight at Hooters because, of course. And, yeah, I think this game could be a lot closer. I need to see, is Tyrod Taylor playing? That's something I need to look up right now. He's out for 3 weeks. Davis Mills is starting. So, yeah, I think Christian McCaffrey, he's going to run all over this defense. I think it could be a high-scoring game around, 25, 30 points for each team. I could see this game going either way, honestly. I think the Panthers are a really good team. Overall, they're a better team than the Texans, but it's Thursday Night Football. It's primetime. It's in Houston, so I could see the Texans winning this too. I don't want to go against the Panthers because I'm gonna look like an idiot if I'm wrong. I'm gonna say that the Panthers win this, but I think it's gonna be a close game. I think it's gonna be a good game. Here we go. I'm saying the Panthers are gonna win 28-24 in a very good game and very close game. Then we have the Chargers versus the Chiefs. Chargers in Arrowhead, which is a problem. Justin Herbert hasn't played well there before. Of course, he's only played there once. But yeah, he doesn't really play well against the Chiefs, which makes sense. But I think this season the Chargers are looking really good. And the Chiefs' defense, if the Chargers can put Austin Eckler on the ground, I think they could definitely give the Chiefs a run for their money. I'm still going to go with the Chiefs win here because, I mean, if the Chiefs lose this one in Arrowhead against the Chargers, then they have some serious problems. Then they're last in the division, and they really have to consider what is going on with our team right now. And I don't think they're going to lose this. Patrick Mahomes has lost one game in September his entire career, and that was last week. I don't think they're losing another one. And I think Andy Reid's going to get this defense in check probably by October, like what I was saying with the Browns defense. But I think it's going to be a really close game. It could be, remember last year when they went into overtime with the Chargers? I'm going to say that the Chiefs win this 31-30. I think it could be a really close game, really fun game. Then we have Cardinals, Jaguars. Cardinals offense looks great, and their defense they looked really good against the Titans. Against the Vikings, they let up some crucial, conversions. And then the Jaguars, their offense didn't look great last week. Of course, it was against a very good Broncos defense. And the Jaguars defense doesn't look good. I think Kyler Murray is going to just run all over this team. I'm going to say that the Cardinals win this. I should also be doing, actually putting this into my predictions here. Week by week predictions. Yes. Okay. The Chiefs winning this one. Panthers winning this one, and the Cardinals winning this one. Wait, this is my week by week predictions, right? Okay. Just need to make sure. Okay, yep. I'm gonna say Cardinals win 34-13 against the Jaguars. Bears, Browns, Justin Fields is starting, so that could be a problem for this Browns defense. But he doesn't have a lot of experience. We don't know how he's going to play, so I'm going to go with the Browns here. I think their offense is really good, and the Bears defense is not what we thought they would be. But it could be close. I'm going to go with the Browns winning this one. The Browns win this one 27-21 here in Cleveland. We got Washington versus the Bills. I don't see the Bills falling to 1-2 here. I really don't. And especially if it was last year with this incredible Washington defense, maybe Washington could pull it off. Maybe Taylor Heineke could do something, but I don't see it, especially the way the Bills defense played last week. I think they're looking really good. Chase Young could give them some problems with their O-line, because that is if you're going to pick one group on the Bills roster that needs improvement, it's their O-line. So Washington could give them trouble there, but I'm going to roll with the Bills winning this one. I'm going to roll with them winning it 21-17. And then we got Colts versus Titans. Colts don't have Carson Wentz, which is unfortunate. So that's if they had Carson Wentz, I'd say I would probably pick the Colts to win this, but because they looked good last week, but the Titans looked amazing last week too. And I'm going to give this to the Titans offense because the Colts defense is not what we thought it was going to be this year. It's not as improved. They do need to get some key players back. And yeah, but until then, I'm giving this to the Titans. Colts are falling 0-3, and it's going to look really bad for them. Yeah. Okay. So then we go. Wait, I need to see. What did I do for week 1? Okay, so I corrected it. All right. So let's current standings. This. Okay. Just so we have it. And then all right. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Titans winning this one. I think they'll win. I'm going to go with 30-18. Here we go. Saints versus Patriots. This is a really good game. This is going to be a really close game, but with how unpredictable the Saints are, I would pick them if they looked better last week. I would have picked them, but I just think the Patriots defense is going to give them problems, and Mac Jones looks good. I'm not sure the Saints defense is going to be able to stop him, and so I'm going to go with the Patriots, but barely. Patriots are barely winning this one. 16-14. There we go. And you got Falcons versus Giants. Everyone thinks the Falcons are going to win. They're favored, right? Falcons odds. Oh, they favor the Giants over the Falcons by 3 points. See, I see this. The Giants, I think they looked good last week. I think they can continue. They do not want to go 0-3 to start. I know they've been used to that. But, yeah, I'm going to roll with the Giants winning here. I just think Falcons' defense doesn't look great. Matt Ryan doesn't look great. And Daniel Jones I think he looked good last week. And, yeah, their defense isn't great. But I think they could pull something off. I'm going with the Giants win 19-14. All right. Bengals versus Steelers. This one, it's really a matter of how is the Bengals O-line going to hold up. It's not. This is going to be a Steelers win. I don't think the Bengals O-line can hold up. I don't know how Joe Burrow is going to be under pressure throwing to the Steelers secondary. I don't think it's looking good. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game because the Steelers offense doesn't look great. I'm going to go with the Steelers winning 17-13. And we got Ravens-Lions. You could say this is a walk in the park for the Ravens, but they lost to the Raiders. So you never know. And the Lions, Jared Goff did look good last week against the Packers. Of course, only in the first half. But, yeah. So I'm going to roll with the Ravens winning this. I think the Lions will make it a closer game than, Lamar Jackson would hope for. But I'm going to go with a 35-28 win for the Ravens. Penei Sewell also looked really good. Penei Sewell is really good. I like him a lot. Jets Broncos. This is going to be a Broncos win. There's just, I don't know what's going on with the Jets. Their defense is not going to be able to hold up against Teddy Bridgewater and Zach Wilson against this secondary. And Von Miller? No. They're not going to be okay. Broncos are going to be 3-0 to start. Broncos are going to win this one 27-7. All right. Then here we go here. Dolphins versus Raiders. This is good. I would have picked the Dolphins earlier in this. I did pick the Dolphins earlier. But this now I'm going to, after looking at this Raiders offense and defense, and especially against Jacoby Brissett, are the Dolphins going to be okay? Probably not. I don't think their offense is going to be able to move the ball. And the Raiders, I think the Raiders are going to win. The Dolphins do have a good defense, good secondary, but I think Derek Carr will be able to push past that. I'm going to give them a 24-19 win over the Dolphins. Then we got Buccaneers versus Rams. This is really good. Buccaneers, we were talking about the Buccaneers defense isn't really what it was last year. Of course, they did get 2 pick sixes. But, yeah, they're not looking as great as last year. They're probably going to get that figured out. And the Rams defense, like we said last game, it's a bit of a question mark as to where the secondary was for half of that game. I am going to give this a Buccaneers win, which I know is very odd for me because I think very highly of the Rams and I think very not highly of Tom Brady. I'm going to give a Buccaneers win here. I'm I'm gonna let them win here, 27-24. I think it's gonna be a really good game, really fun to watch. Of course, I'm gonna be watching the Seahawks-Vikings game instead of the Buccaneers-Rams game at this point. So, we got the Seahawks on the road taking on the Vikings. The Seahawks, their defense looked good for the first half. Their offense looked good for the first half. But will this Vikings defense be able to hold on to them? You don't know. We really don't know what they're going to look like. And their offense does look good. Let's hope that Seattle can contain Dalvin Cook. We don't want, Dalvin Cook to just, Derrick Henry runs right through us, and then the next week, Dalvin Cook. No. Last year it was a very close game. I'm going to give the edge to the Seahawks here. I could see this game going either way. I just think Russell Wilson is going to just outplay this Vikings defense. I'm going to give the Seahawks the win, 28-27. Very close win. Then we got Packers versus 49ers in San Francisco, baby. Hell yeah, baby. Hell yeah. So, yeah. Packers in San Fran against the 49ers. 49ers pass defense looked good. Nick Bosa looks good. And, we don't know. Rodgers was sacked 3 times last week, and that was against the Lions. So, really got to watch out for that. And Aaron Rodgers, yes, he looked good, 4 touchdowns, but that was against the Lions defense. We expected him to do that. People are saying he's back to his MVP self. He's not. He played as he should have against a very bad team. He played as he should have. And if he played like that against the Rams or the Buccaneers, then yes, absolutely, he's back to his MVP self. But no, and especially the press conference afterwards when he was just trash talking literally everyone. No, I don't like Aaron Rodgers at all. I think this pass defense is going to annihilate him. I'm going to give a 49ers win, 31-24. I see multiple picks coming from Aaron Rodgers here, hopefully. Eagles versus Cowboys in Dallas. Cowboys offense looks good. Eagles offense looks good. This is probably going to be a really, really good game, really close game. Classic NFC East matchup. Those games are always good. Even for being one of the worst divisions in NFL, the NFC East matchups are always really fun. NFC East and NFC West matchups are always the most fun to watch. And I see this being a really good game, really close game. I'm going to give the slight edge to the Eagles here. I just think their defense and their pass rush is better. And Cowboys are missing DeMarcus Lawrence. Yeah, so I'm giving the Eagles win here, 30-29. All right. And those are my predictions. And hopefully they're good. Hopefully they add up. And yeah, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you next week for my review, and we'll see how I did. So, later, guys.